I know, I always know. The mugger would have kicked my ass just as hard if I'd tried to stop him. That dumbass Alan would have still lashed me out for not finishing his project on time, even if I'd told him he would fracture his right arm falling down the stairs the next day. The moron best friend who cut me off suddenly would have still blown a tire and slammed into the pole. I know. I can foresee it. I have visions lasting 100 seconds. I don't control what I see. At first I thought I was one of those superheroes. I thought I'd revolutionize the world, or at least my life. But life doesn't work like movies, where the heroes and the villains are all fit and clearly defined. Foresight doesn't make me a charming man god from a slightly overweight, mediocre man with lost ambitions who is struggling for life. Knowing something is different than doing something. I know Rose would be the only love I will ever get in my life. I know her pearl eyes would be the most beautiful thing I will ever come across. I know she would hold my hands and make me feel the happiest man in the world. I know we will go on long walks, talking about the universe and our existence. I know Rose would say yes when I will sit on my knees with the engagement ring. I know one day Rose will have tears in her eyes. I know she would say she is losing interest. She would say that our thing isn't working out. She would say something about taking break. One day, I know I will be boring. I also know that one day, Rose will leave me. I will be alone and heartbroken. So what some might say is a blessing, I call a curse. I know the sun will disappear like a light bulb popping in an empty basement, leaving darkness so complete the brain will invent colors to compensate. There it was, then gone, in the space between seconds. Everything will just be dark and cold. Everything will be in chaos. Dark winter will follow. Slowly, every life form will perish. Should I tell 7.9 billion people to take care while it lasts? Should I tell them to show more love? Should I tell them to kiss the loved one goodbyes? Should I tell them about the end and that it doesn't matter? This, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. And as I sit on my knees now, Rose's eyes go wide, and I pull out the engagement ring from my left pocket. I see her laughing and dancing. She wraps me in her arms and says, yes. Should I tell her? Should I tell you? I think I really don't know.
Keep it secret and keep it safe.
That's what the homeless man said outside our new house. I didn't know what he meant. Before I could take in his shabby clothes and scraggly beard, he was gone, off down the road. My dad said he was just a village weirdo, that this town had a few of them. We didn't want to move, but a family tragedy had forced us. Dad didn't talk about it much. Mum neither. She has always been quiet. But since that day, she seemed to go into her shell even more. I was surprised when my sister, Chester, came out of my new room holding a weird-looking watch. It was stuck at 2:59 a.m., even though the second hand moved on. I wondered why such a strange object was in my new room, being entirely empty other than my things from the move. I thought it must be what the man was talking about. I didn't tell my dad. He had enough on his plate. Later that night, I woke to a rapping at the window. I glanced at my bedside alarm and jolted awake. It was 2:58. The tapping increased. I jumped up and pulled open the blinds. The man was there again, eyes wide, frantic.
Have you got it? Is it safe?
For a moment, I wondered what he was talking about until I felt a lump in my pocket. Surprised, I pulled out the watch. The man sighed with relief, and then looked around the dark street, as if someone or thing was watching him.
Don't take it out of the house. It must stay inside or he will come back. The one who gave me this.
He pulled aside the sheen of hair to show a deep laceration. Worms or maggots wiggled inside, like the scar was infested.
Got it? Do you understand?
I nodded, numbly. Something moved behind his eyes, wiggled like a fish. He took another quick look and bolted away. I didn't sleep that night, scared that whatever had hurt the man, changed him, would come back for me. After breakfast, the next morning, Chester and myself went off to play in the yard. There was a tall tree with a tire swing. After some time, Chester grew bored and went inside. I kicked the heavens, enjoying the wind in my face.
Let's play with this.
Chester smiled, holding out the timepiece. I froze, remembering the man's warning. As soon as she stepped past the door, the clock started to click, and with every second, I felt the ground move. Worms slithered up from the earth. The man's face sprang to my mind. The deep wound, the wiggling. I grabbed Chester and ran inside. We didn't tell my dad until tonight. The worms crawl under our door, fall down from the chimney, and there's only a few hours until 2:59. I don't know what's going to happen when that time comes, but I'm petrified. First of all, I needed to get this whole story out of my system. Everyone in real life around me either thinks I'm crazy or in need of attention, but please hear me out. On December 21st, 2018, I died. I mean, it's just not possible. I didn't. But I'm still here physically. Mentally is a whole different story. I vividly remember the day of December 21st, 2018. That day, I was in my junior year of high school, and it was our last day before winter break. It was a clear, beautiful day, with light snow coming down, and a calm winter atmosphere. I remember everything until, oh God, the 8th period, our second to last class of the day. 10 minutes into chemistry class, the loudspeaker goes off, and the principal said something like this. Staff, teachers, and students, not to scare any of you all, but we are currently experiencing a minor earthquake. We will begin evacuating the building in just a moment for safety reasons. About 30 seconds later, the building begins to shake unearthly, and all the lights shut off. Our chemistry teacher was known as the Fearless Man. He was once totally calm and collected in a school shooting we had there. But when the building began to shake, we all saw him curse and enter a fight-or-flight response. I pretty much knew all of us were going to die at this point. I saw the unexplainable fear in everyone's eyes and heard loud moans and sobs. This unearthly shaking went on for about 20 seconds, and then we heard what I can best describe as an airplane hitting a building, but actually being inside that building. I then felt the ceiling crush my head and bracing for death at that moment. I think I actually went deaf from the noise, but the last thing I recalled seeing was the school building collapsing in. I'm 100% sure I died then and there. I remember going unconscious from the impact, and death was certainly upon me. But I was only unconscious for what felt like an average night's sleep, and then regained consciousness. When I regained consciousness, my eyes were still closed, but I could faintly make out the noise of a fan and the smell of breakfast. Extremely confused, I got out of bed and checked my phone. It read 8:55 a.m., Sunday, October 24th, 2021. I nearly threw up. I ran over to the mirror and saw that I now had a slight mustache and was a teenage boy. Almost 3 years had passed, and I was somehow younger. But the worst part is that I used to be a girl prior to this incident, and now I'm a guy. My family even has pictures of me. I swear I did an experience. If you've taken your time to read all this, then I really appreciate it. I'm scared and in a seriously need of answers. Please